Hello everybody. Today this video will deal with the components in the ground station software. And this is a high-level diagram just to put the blocks in to get you guys started on my ideas of what should be in a ground station software. So let's get started. The first thing we do is we start with the radio. And we assume that somehow or another the radio is pointing the antennas and is on the right frequency. The next thing in the radio is that at least this is for the low-speed modem, is that the the audio comes out of the receiver, and this is audio. And the ones and zeros are represented by tones of 1200 or 2200 hertz to generate the ones and zeros. And the rate at which this comes out is 1200 baud. The next thing it goes into is a hardware box called a TNC. And we spoke about that in the last video. And out of this comes data, actually ones and zeros. And this is at 9600 baud, or bits per second. And this comes into the PC via what we call the COM port. And this is actually a plug on the back of a PC. And this is the PC. So just to kind of review is that we have the radio and an antenna system that's pointing toward the satellite, and there's a software that controls the radios and antennas. The radio puts out audio. This goes into a hardware box called a terminal node controller, and that puts out data at 9600 bps. And the format of this data is AX25. And there's a lot of sites on the web that describes this format. So this is basically the setup. Now, what is in the PC? Well, the first thing we got to do is we got to capture this data. So there's a module I call data capture. Okay, now once you capture the data, you want to archive it. And you probably want to archive it and somehow or another timestamp it. And this archive is just some sort of database where this data is stored. Now, out of this archive or out of this stream here, we want to display that data, which I call the GUI, the graphical interface. Right. Now, we're going to want to do some things here to the GUI. We're going to want to issue commands.
Satellite 407 rising.
And somehow or another we want to be able to, off this GUI interface, command this satellite. And off of this thing we also want to upload a schedule. Let me put that over here. We call that a scheduler. So this GUI interface, this kind of say, remember this satellite is sending down lots of data. There's at least 50 variables that we want to capture. And we want to somehow display these things. We want to be able to tell a satellite to do something. In other words, if we want to make it change modes or do something, we want to issue commands which will work its way back up through this thing, back to the radio. We got to get back. This is a two-way deal here. So we want to capture our commands and things. So we want to be able to issue commands back through this interface, back through this data capture to the PC. Now also we want to be able to do a couple of things. One is we want other ground stations around the world to send us data. So we want to be able to take a telnet session or something similar to it, and we want to be able to feed data into our data archiver. And again, this needs to be time-stamped, and we want to know where it came from. So part of your task will be is to design this format of how this data looks. So so basically, in a nutshell, this is what we're going to be doing this summer. So let's kind of just go one more time, quickly review it. Is that there's a radio. The data comes in via tones to a TNC, which comes over here to data. And also this is called an RS-232 signal level. You can look on the web and get a lot of that. Okay, now this data comes in here from the PC. This is the software piece. We want to capture that data. We want to archive it. We want to feed it to our graphical interface. We want to be able to send commands, and we want to be able to send schedules. In addition to that, we want to be able to, from around the world, be able to take in telnet sessions where people can also help us collect data. So guys, that's it for today. See you on the next video.